Whether you're a human, an animal, or an alien from outer space named Alf, exercise is essential because it keeps us healthy, fit, and trim. It gives our brain a workout, and it improves the quality of our lives. Without exercise, guinea pigs can become obese, which would be a severe problem for them as it will cause them many health problems. Playpen time, as we call it, is very essential for guinea pigs because they need to exercise, and they also need to have plenty of room to run around and play. So it is important to make sure that your play area is spacious enough for their exercise needs. Our guinea pigs know exactly when it's time to play. In fact, as soon as I go into the room, during that time, Lenny will begin to weep at me, and she will continue that until I actually let her out of her cage. Our guinea pigs know exactly where their playpen is, and they will walk to and from their cages to their playpen and vice versa. They absolutely love their playtime. Lenny gets super excited when it's playtime. Alana will come to the front of her cage looking to come out, but she doesn't weep as much as Lenny does. In fact, she rarely weeps, when she's excited. But, not that she doesn't weep at all, but, during this time. Lenny, though, is super, upbeat and just a bubbly personality. I don't know how else to explain her personality, but she always gets ecstatic when it is playtime. So this is something that guinea pigs absolutely will look forward to, and it's important to make it as fun for them as possible. One thing to consider, though, is flooring conditions. You want to make sure that your play area is in an area that you can easily clean up. So for our guinea pigs, we use the playpen, so that way if they make a mess, it's super easy to clean up. Although they do get to roam around the room a little bit sometimes, but they mainly stay in the playpen for playtime. As I said, it's just easier to clean up that way. Another thing to consider, which is the most important thing, is safety. Safety should always come first, and guinea pig proofing your room for them is super important. And this is another reason why we love to use the playpen rather than let them roam free around the room all the time, because it keeps them safe. And safety is our priority. It's our number one priority. I'm constantly saying that we need to keep them safe. So anything that I think could be a potential safety risk, I make sure gets handled immediately. So it's important to make sure that any small items that a guinea pig could potentially pick up and choke on or swallow would not be around. You want to make sure that plants and plastic bags would be out of reach. You want to make sure that you shut your cupboard doors and keep all electronic and telephone or computer and window blind cords out of reach for them. These are just all things that you want to make sure they cannot get into, as it is super important to keep them safe. Another thing is, if there's any gaps between any appliances or cupboards, you want to make sure that you block them off, because you do not want your guinea pig to slide in there. All of our hamsters, guinea pigs, and rats stay in the same room. They have their very own bedroom, actually, in our house, which is a luxury we are very blessed with, but it really helps to keep them safe, because we do have cats and dogs, and this way we never have to worry about them possibly getting hurt from the cats or dogs. I have seen a lot of people who have cats and dogs and stuff that do interact with their guinea pigs and or hamsters and rats, but we feel it is just best to keep the cats and dogs away from our guinea pigs, our hamsters, and our rats. And since guinea pigs are constant chewers, they will gnaw on just about anything they can get their teeth on. So this is another reason why we love the playpen, because we'll never have to worry about them getting into anything inappropriate, such as wires, from the TV or, anything else. And it just, like I said, helps to keep them super safe. Also, when we do allow them to free roam around the room, I make sure that I keep my eyes on them the entire time. And normally the one side of the room will be blocked off, because then I don't have to worry about them getting stuck under something or, getting into something that they shouldn't. Normally, though, they just bebop from the playpen to their cage and vice versa, and allowing the guinea pigs to walk from their cage to the playpen or vice versa really helps to get them some more exercise, some more steps in for the day, because they absolutely love to do that, and they'll do it sometimes back and forth a few times before they'll actually go into the playpen or into their cage, depending on where they're heading. We like to keep our playpen for our guinea pigs pretty simple. The setup's pretty simple. Just maybe a couple tunnels, a few chews. That way they have most of the space just to run around, and there's nothing in their way stopping them from running around. They absolutely love the different things I'll put in there depending on the holidays, Heidi's and toys and such, but it's usually pretty simple, nothing crazy, or not too many toys. We do want to keep toys in there as we want them to play and chew, but we try not to overload it, so then that way there's not like a bunch of stuff in their way, and they have all that space just to bebop around and get their exercise in. And you don't usually see a water bottle in their playpen because they're always getting veggies, which are usually pretty watery veggies. The bell peppers, the cucumbers, they're pretty watery, so they don't really need, water while they're in the playpen, even when they're in there for long periods of time, because they get, a lot of water from their veggies. But if they were going to be in there for too long and they, their veggies didn't last or something, then, I'd put a water bottle there. But they can go back to their cage, in between too. Sometimes they'll do that. So, it just kind of depends on what's going on for the day. But it is a good idea to have water access for your guinea pigs in their playpen, especially if they're not getting watery veggies, because the more they exercise, the more they will need to drink. Also, keeping the playpen set up simple, might include just like a simple tunnel, a grass ball, or, a couple chew toys, and maybe, a few handfuls of hay or something. You can have like a hay dish or something of the sort, but we don't usually put hay in our playpen, unless, it's like a special occasion for some reason that we're using hay, or if we have like leftover hay from their cage, or something like that, just because of the simple fact that they usually have like hay balls in their playpen, and also they're already getting their veggies in there and stuff, so it also gives them something to look forward to when they do go back to their cage, because that's usually one of the first things that they chew on when they go from the playpen back to their cage. And having a hideaway or two is also essential for your playpen. We don't always keep a hidey or a tunnel in the playpen, depending on how much Alana is lying about. If she goes in there, usually she'll just kind of end up getting stuck in a tunnel or a Heidi, in the sense that she won't want to come out. So in that case, sometimes we'll have to take those items out, so then that way Alana will kind of be more encouraged to run and play with Lenny. Lenny will go in the tunnels and the Heidi's, but she won't stay in there. She more or less just like goes in and comes right out. Like, she kind of just uses it as like a pass-through thing. Also, no matter how safe you think your guinea pig's play area is, you might have missed something. So, supervision is really important for playtime. We always have our eyes on our guinea pigs. I mean, I may be cleaning or something while they're in their playpen, but I'm constantly looking over to make sure that everything is okay. And if I hear any weird noises, then obviously I would, want to make sure that I look up immediately and check things out, but that doesn't usually happen. The only noises I usually hear are week, 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 week. Guinea pigs, though, are very curious little creatures, and you will be amazed at what they might possibly get into or what they might even do. Lenny, for instance, really shocked us when we first brought her home, because she literally jumped out of the playpen that she was in and, jumped into Alana's playpen, because at the time they hadn't been fully introduced yet, so they had separate playpens. So you just never know what they may do. So supervision is really important. That way it just keeps them extra safe. Another reason why we really love the guinea pig's playpen is because it keeps them safe from our feet. It's important to watch your step when your guinea pigs are running around. And if they're in their playpen, we just know that we're never going to bump into them or potentially, trip over them or anything of the sort. So it just helps to keep them safer. Guinea pigs do need to feel secure, though, so it is important that there is a Heidi in their play area for them to hide in if they feel the need to. For instance, Alana loves to hide out in a tunnel or a Heidi, but not really because she's scared or anything. It's just she just likes to relax and, chill out more so than bebop around as Lenny does. Maybe because Alana's age, she's a little bit older than Lenny, so I don't know if that has to do with it or what, but they do seem to have different personalities. Lenny very much likes to explore more of the whole area, run piggy laps and play with all the toys. Anyway, that's it for now. Don't forget to check back for more.